Hi guys, welcome to our channel. So for those who are new here, this is Stories from the OR. We are the girl doctors in love with the knife.
I'm Tina Soy.
And I'm Sifimona.
Welcome.
Welcome. We know it's been a while since we filmed for those who have been following. But like we said on our Instagram live updates,
Life has beaten us badly, but
adulting is the absolute ghetto.
we are back
Yeah.
with a bang, and we are going to be consistent from now onwards.
Yes, so guys, be expecting our videos every Friday.
Yes.
So yeah, we are hoping we won't backslide on that. So yeah, be expecting us every Friday.
Yes, we're going to put in the work.
Yeah, totally. So anyway, today we wanted to talk about something that is a bit different. Working in the hospital, we realized that so many people don't know how to advocate for themselves when they come to hospital. And let's be honest, especially in our public hospitals, we are working in a system that is overcrowded and we are understaffed. So most of the time when you come to hospital, you find the staff there are like overworked, and yeah, so sometimes it might be like, let me just listen to what you say and then you move ahead. So it's important to self-advocate and just like try to get quality healthcare.
Yes.
So yeah, today we're just going to talk to you guys about ways to advocate for yourself at the doctor's office.
Yes. Ensure by the time you're leaving the doctor's office, you have everything you need, like you're taken care of 100%.
Yes.
Not halfway. Yes. So you want to go first?
You go first. I feel like I've been talking a lot.
Okay, so my first point is come with a really, really clear history of how you're feeling, your symptoms, and remember to highlight the most important symptoms according to you. So the symptoms that have been disturbing you the most, and then you notice the duration that you've been having the symptoms. Has it been 1 week, 2 weeks? For me, is it fever that's most problematic, or is it like a cough? Yes.
And to add something to that, if you've been having this problem for a long time, then tell us what has changed. You see, like if you've been having back pain, for example, when you come, that's something that has been there, but what has changed? Has it become more painful? Is it like, have you noticed any swelling? Yeah, but as she said, just have a clear history of what you want to be addressed.
Yes, and to have a clear history, you have to actually know your body well. So you can't know there's a lump here if you didn't know there wasn't a lump. Yes. So examine your body, know your body well.
Yes. My point is ask questions, especially if you don't understand something that is being said. Us, we'll just talk and we expect maybe you understand, and no one understands medical jargon, honestly. So if you don't understand something, just ask. We will listen, so that you don't go not knowing what exactly your diagnosis is or what was said during that visit, because honestly it's like you've just wasted your time. So yeah, ask questions, as many as you can.
And don't be afraid that it will annoy us or anything. Imagine we are there to just serve you.
It's your right, actually.
Yeah.
You have a right to quality healthcare.
So ask, why am I feeling like this? Why have you been given me this medication? And you have a right to know all the possible treatments that you could get and choose for yourself.
Exactly.
Yes, and you can't choose without knowing.
Exactly. For example, if you come to me and you have these symptoms and I have looked and my diagnosis is this and this and you need surgery, you have the right to ask, are there any other options besides this surgical thing that you want to do, so that the doctor will explain to you every single option that's there, and then you decide. Because you also should ask about side effects, you should ask about cost, you should ask about hospital stay, such things. You have a right to ask, so just ask.
However, to put a caveat on that, not everything might be very clear. to both the doctor and you. So
Yes.
like, yes, we might not know even what the diagnosis is.
Exactly.
We might not know how long your treatment might take. We might not know everything. But, and that's why specialists exist.
Exactly.
That's why many specialists, like you can specialize in adult medicine and then subspecialize in adult kidney medicine and then so on and so forth.
So yeah, it's important for you to understand that if you're having a specific issue, then look, for example, for the ladies, you're having gynecological issues, look for a gynecologist, because you will come to me as a medical officer. I have not specialized in gynecology. I have just that baseline knowledge. So I might not be able to give you a clear picture of what is going on. But when you decide you're going to see a gynecologist, then they will have a clear picture of what is happening. And even then, they might not until they run a couple of tests, Yeah.
That's true. So my next point was beware of bias. So there's positive and negative bias. And both positive and negative bias might affect your care. So your doctor might be negatively biased towards you. We are all human. I can see your face and decide I don't like you.
Or you remind me of someone I don't like.
Yes. So you need to realize when your doctor is exhibiting bias and call him or her out. That's important. In a good way, not in a bad way. Because when you call it out, they'll be like, higher. Kumbe, they might not even realize it. Positive bias might also affect you. How? I might like you so much as my patient, but I don't want to hurt you with procedures or more tests. Even though I know they might be necessary, I might be telling myself in my head, it's not a must.
Yeah.
You'll be fine without it. Yes. So you need to realize and call it out. And even you as a patient, you might see a doctor and not like them.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time.
It does.
And then for that reason, you might think this doctor is better than this one, just because you dislike this one and you like this one. So you need to realize, why don't I like this doctor? Don't I just like how he thinks? Or I just don't like his face? Or how they look like?
Yeah, and on that note, there's this thing where, I don't know, maybe in the older generation, they look at you and they see you're young. That's a bias that has already been formed in their head. Because people have this thing, it's like younger doctors don't know much, and the older ones, which is actually kind of true because in terms of experience. But in terms of knowledge, don't just assume because someone is young, they don't know anything. Or maybe, the way people say slay queens, or, you look at your doctor and you're like, okay, no, madam.
And how you look does not affect how you are.
Exactly.
upstairs.
Even how I'm dressed
Yeah.
does not affect that.
Exactly. How do tattoos make me different? Like, how will I be different tomorrow when I have a tattoo here? And today. Yeah. And bias is so wide in the fact that you might be having severe symptoms, but your doctor kind of downplays it because they've seen so many cases of the non-severe case of the disease, and you need to be alert as a patient to realize it. For instance, maybe you have more than, right now for COVID, everyone thinks everything is COVID. So maybe you're having something else, and because we've been seeing COVID, like for the whole day, I might have seen like 10 cases of COVID. So the 11th case will actually look like COVID. And that's actually well researched and well pointed out in research. So beware.
Yeah. My other point is, don't believe everything you read on the internet. Sometimes you might have a headache, you Google, and it's boom, subarachnoid hemorrhage.
Yeah, you
Boom,
might not be having a
brain tumor.
headache tomorrow because you'll be dead.
Exactly. So when you come, I know most of us have that thing where you Google your symptoms and you go thinking this is it, but no, don't do that. Don't become I don't know how to describe it, but we usually encounter such patients who come and they already have this diagnosis in their head. So when you tell them something different, it's like, who are you? I Googled. Dr. Google told me this is what I have, and you're telling me something different. So yeah, just come and tell us your symptoms, and then from there we can try to both figure out what is happening. Instead of you coming thinking, okay, I'm dying tomorrow. Yeah, don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Yes, and we make diagnosis based on patterns or algorithms, if I may say. Like a headache could be 100 different things.
Exactly.
If you're Googling and it's telling you it's a subarachnoid,
that's just one of the reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't just come and assume like, yes, subarachnoid. And also it's not limited to only diagnosis, it's also limited to medication. You might have Googled and you've seen this drug is used for this. But in medicine, different drugs can be used to treat different things. You get, like you can get one drug that treats a variety of things. So maybe you come and I'm giving you aspirin for one reason or the other. You're like, this is for people with stroke, so I don't want that. But maybe it's the best drug. It's not just for stroke. Yeah. So it's important to understand that. And also, when you come with that mentality, also the doctor becomes like, okay, then why did you come to see me? Yeah.
Yeah. So my next point is, you have a right to choose the doctor you prefer. What do I mean? Like maybe you have a gynecological issue, and maybe you, for one reason or another, religious, just preference, you prefer a female doctor. You can just say, no one will literally mind like asking someone else to see you. It will not be a problem, unless someone has self-esteem issues, I don't know.
And that is something that most people are not aware of. You have that right. You know, you might go to public hospitals and you know the way some people will talk to you vibaya. But you have to understand that it is your right. If you refuse to be seen by that specific person, you are entitled to it. Yeah? But just be polite in the way that you're saying it. Don't be like, oh no, stop, just don't be so aggressive. Just explain your reasons and say you want a different person.
I don't think this might apply much for public hospitals, because usually there's just one doctor. See, I told you guys to elect better leaders. So if you say you don't have this doctor and there's no other doctor, surely. But anyway, bottom line, you can always ask for who you prefer.
Yeah, and my next point is take notes. Take notes. I don't know. You know, sometimes you might go to see a doctor and maybe the things that are being said are shocking to you, or it's just a really bad diagnosis, or I don't know, for whatever reason, you might not be fully present when things are being said. So it's important to take notes and just try to go through them later, because you might miss some things, but when you go back and read your notes, you will start to remember, and actually as you're taking notes, try to highlight the things that you think are important. Yes.
For sure. You might, some diagnoses just take you out completely. They might be severe. You might be having other personal problems, or you're just tired from the whole day you've been working, and then in the evening you've stayed for so long in the hospital, you're annoyed. Yeah, take notes. So the other point, kind of related to my first point, is be open. When some symptoms might be embarrassing, but that's why there's doctor-patient confidentiality, and that's why we're there to listen. We are trained to be able to take whatever kind of information that you may be able to present to us, and then be open to investigation and procedures. Some procedures might be uncomfortable, mostly uncomfortable, barely painful, because any painful procedures we use anesthesia. But just there might be dehumanizing.
Yeah, some of the things it's like you are just not comfortable doing them, but for the sake of us trying to find out what exactly is happening, just kubali tu.
Because I find even like you're trying to do procedures on like older men, and they feel like a young girl shouldn't be doing this.
Yes. And I usually also feel awkward, but you know,
Yeah,
it's
even
not
us
just
we feel
you.
it. That's the truth.
It's not just you, even us, you know,
But
digital
what can
rectal
you do?
examinations for prostates, it's uncomfortable, but
And then back to now the previous point. If you're uncomfortable with it, ask for a male doctor. I won't feel offended. I won't feel some type of way. I understand. So
and on that note of being open, as she has said, don't hide any symptoms. Because if you hide that, maybe it's actually one of the main things that are contributing to whatever you're feeling. So if you hide it, honestly, you're not helping yourself, you're not helping us. Yeah, and you know, this is something that so many people do, especially when it comes to gynecological issues or sexually associated
or
issues.
rectal issues.
People just hide a lot of things, but this is the 21st century. No one is going to judge. Okay, I can't speak for other people. But like, it's just say whatever is
But
going
us, we
on.
won't judge you.
Yeah.
Yes. So you ask a patient, by the way, do you have any other illnesses? They're like, no, mi niko sawa by the way. And then you ask them, unatumianga dawa zozote?
Then they
Yes. Natumia dawa za pressure, dawa za hypertension.
Yeah. And also, it's important to understand that in this particular century, there's some diseases that you shouldn't be hiding. For example, HIV. Just most healthcare professionals have been trained so much. We have so much knowledge about HIV now than we did like maybe even 10 years ago. So you should not be afraid to speak that. You know, just it's a disease like any other, so don't be scared. Because if it's not us who are going to help you, then who will? And also things to do with like mental health. I know currently now there's still a lot of stigma when it comes to mental health, especially for men. So someone might be coming and they give you an array of symptoms, but that's not actually what is inamsumbua. But you know, just speak up.
So it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay not to be okay.
It's a safe space.
Yes. It should be a safe space. And if you ever feel like you're threatened by a doctor, you have a right to report.
Yes.
You know? Especially in this age of social media and reports. There's no problem.
But follow the appropriate channels.
Yes. My next point is never take out your frustrations on the staff. Sometimes you have no control over the situation. You know, in hospital we have systems in place. So for example, you came like an hour ago and you still haven't been seen. But there are people who came before you. You know their systems, and maybe I'm the only doctor there. There's nothing I can do about that. You know?
Well, the patients before you were so sick, they required procedures,
Exactly.
they required admission. There are so many factors.
Yeah, so don't take out your frustrations on us. We are also human beings, honestly. And you might come to me with an aggressive attitude, and I might be having a really bad day and I will be hostile. And you know what, at the end of the day, it will be the doctor's fault, you know, because you are supposed to maintain professionalism, but sometimes people can try you. So just understand that there are systems in place. For example, some procedures in some hospitals, you'll be told, we can't do this until you pay. You get? So you'll come and say, you know, mnataka tu pesa, but it's not my fault. I work for an organization, I work for a specific hospital. So yeah, just try to be understanding of the system.
And to add on to that, the problem is actually the system. It's the system that has that the ratio of doctors to patients is so high, it's not adequate. The system that makes doctors and nurses and just generally healthcare professionals overwork. Why though? The system that doesn't employ, that doesn't train. That's who you should ask.
Yeah.
The lawmakers, your CEOs who sit on the board, who treat us like trash. No shade to them.
Yeah. So yeah, it's important to understand. We cannot emphasize this more and choose better leaders, because I think the healthcare system as we stand is just broken, and there's a lot that needs to be done. Anyway, I don't think I have any other points.
I have 2 more points.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think my one point of mine you might have covered.
Mm-hmm.
And this last one, my other point was generally because you tend to receive better care when you can. Because that way you're not shackling anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You're not making anyone feel like less than. So just be kind, be nice. I think the nicer you are, the better care you get. But also don't talk too much.
So remember, this is like a professional appointment, and yes, be friendly, but
Actually, the
They shouldn't
patient will
ask
talk.
you.
You're like that 10 minutes later. You're like, we already finished. I have a queue. I have so many other patients, but the patient is still talking.
and you usually don't know what to do in such situations because you also don't want to be rude. But sometimes we ask you, so when did this symptom start? And you start from Timbuktu, Sijui, when I was a child, this and this happened. No, what I'm
And we said,
asking.
be clear about your history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So be very, very precise, but be kind.
As we said, we're being candid. So my other point was, you have a right to privacy.
Yes, that's a good point.
So the stories you're telling your doctor has no right to tell anyone that you haven't authorized.
Exactly.
Not their colleague, not your husband, not your mother or father.
Nah, but it depends. People who are underage.
For
they are
underage, yeah, because now you have to be accompanied by
by a guardian, yes.
But if you're an adult, even like for people who are like 16, 17 there, who can already understand, then it's not very clear. But I think it's advisable to not share the details of such persons with anyone. But for adults, imagine the information you give your doctor should stay between
the
you
two of
and
you.
them. Full stop.
It's important to know that. And it's not just privacy in terms of what you say, also some procedures you have a right to privacy with you. Especially we have these teaching hospitals where there are students and they need to be taught. We know most of the time, okay, don't let someone just be there with students and they're doing maybe a vaginal examination.
They should introduce the name.
Yes, and ask
students.
you for permission to do that. And again, you have a right to say no. Yeah, you have a right to say no. So just remember that.
Yeah. So we go to the next section of our name.
Yeah, we've come to the end of our self-advocacy video. If you have any other ways that you feel like you usually do to advocate for yourself, then you can comment down below and just try to educate each other. So yes, we are moving just to, break the ice and make things a bit more fun. We are going to play a game as we wind up. And the game is who knows who better. I'm sure I do, but anyway, we'll see.
Okay, let's play.
Yeah. You want to start or I
No, you
start?
go first.
Okay.
You start first.
So, wow.
Yeah.
If you guys remember the
I
last
said it.
video, she started like this too, and then she lost. We both know who will lose. Anyway, my first question: what is my dream career? What
Being
is
an
my dream
artist.
career?
Being an artist.
Really? Yeah, that's actually true.
1 point for me.
Yeah,
0 for you.
If in another life I would be an artist, I paint sometimes, I do embroidery, I make cocktails, I just feel like in another life I would be an artist.
Especially the painting.
One day I will show you guys exactly what I'm talking about.
You said was this painting.
I'll start selling them. Watch out.
Okay. So, we went to Mawimbi 1 month ago. and we tried CJ, what was it called? We hated it AF. So we are not usually people to try new food. So I want to ask you, do you think I am finally ready to try seafood?
Well, I think you are. Because after we left Mawimbi, you were like, maybe we should have tried sushi. But
No,
I know
of
also,
course not.
wait.
Oh, you already gave you can't change your answer.
Okay, so
But
guys, we do not like seafood. I don't know what the hype is about it, but we've taken a couple of trips to different places where they've offered seafood, and it was just like meh.
I don't know why, but we like fish.
I like fish.
Generally, not ocean fish like me.
It's just, I don't know, it's just a preference. People will be like, yeah, we understand. Everyone has their preference, but we just do not like seafood. Anyway, so 1 point for her.
1 point for me, 0 for you.
Anyway, describe my personality.
Oh, is that a question?
That's a question.
You're calm and collected. But lately, here you're a short wire.
Okay, so let me make this easier for you. Am I an introvert or an extrovert?
I'd say an ambivert.
Yeah, there you're right. I'm just there.
Okay.
Well, apparently.
So imagine
Nilikuwa nimejichocha sana.
you're failing this one. What is a new skill I've been trying to develop for the past few months, but I haven't even made a point to start. And I've told you about this.
So there are 2 things I know you've always wanted to do. Number 1 is make furniture. Number 2 is make candles.
But that was for kids. Okay, candles is still ongoing, but for the past few months, I've told you something.
Photography.
No. Nikwambie.
What is
I
this?
told you I want to buy a guitar to learn how to play the guitar.
I do not remember you mentioning. No, I refuse.
You can't feign that ignorance.
I refuse.
I actually remember telling you, and then you telling me, but then I have a guitar.
Oh, that's another skill that I have. Okay, online. My partner plays the guitar, so
Okay,
I have one.
We're at 0 to like I've already won.
Hey, wow, this is becoming here. Okay.
You have 5 questions.
Do I have 4? What, in your opinion, do you think is the biggest lesson I have learned in the past year?
If it comes, it comes. If it goes, it goes.
Nah.
Really?
I think the biggest lesson I have learned is on friendships and just how to, the do's and don'ts of adult friendships, like things like communication and just, mostly communication and just trying to be there for your friends and trying to understand that we are all going through adult life. We're trying to adjust. So when that come messy in between and TMI. Yeah, so we're just hapo katikati. So a lot of us are trying to figure out our lives. So it's important to understand that when it comes to friendship. We won't talk all the time, but yeah.
When you need me, I'll show up.
Yes, and communication is key.
I think that's something we've both learned.
Yeah.
So my other question is, apart from surgery and pathology, what else would I consider pursuing?
Amen.
That was easy.
Yeah. Oh, so we are
but it's more at a 2-2. Where did
Still.
we get the other one?
Oh, 1-2. I thought I could sneak that past her, but apparently she's very attentive.
But it's more of Obsgain. I should give you half a point because my answer was originally Obsgain. Because I've even made my mentor is an
obstetrician, gynecologist. Hi, if you can see us.
Hi,
Dr.
Kigondu. But I also have a surgeon mentor.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'll give you a point which should be half those are giving yalla.
Last question. Describe my ideal partner.
If you must find it.
You know, this is a genuine question. You've interacted with me so much by now, you should know.
Ideal partner is a partner you would cheat on and they would say, thank you, my love. I was wrong and I apologize.
She does not know me at all.
Anyway, honestly, I think someone who understands you. And loves you. Ideal.
Yeah, but I think the understanding and okay, those are very obvious things that you can get from any partner.
Ah, come on.
But I honestly would love someone who understands me, loves me, but most importantly supports me, because I don't know, I'm a very here and there person. Today I'll wake up and be like, oh, I want to paint. And
I have a new hobby today.
Oh yeah, I need money to do this and this and this.
And they give you money.
They give you money and support you in that. And they will promote. I woke up one day and was like, oh, I'm starting a channel with my friend. And they support you. So I think support in general is really important.
For sure. And we are grateful for everyone who supports us.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people. So if I wasn't a doctor, what would I be?
A photographer. Or no, wait, an engineer. Yeah. Anyway, guys.
An engineer or a mathematician, I don't know.
Skia vitu za watu. I hate math. I just
really, math was my favorite.
But also,
I don't want to say I hate biology because I'm doing it now and I kind of like it.
Me, if I was not a doctor, obviously I would be an artist. But I also find people in IT really fascinating. You know, people who talk about hacking and coding. It's like a totally different.
Badass.
It's badass, honestly. People like Dr. Bright Gameli, he's just really inspiring, honestly.
I started following him recently.
I look at what he does and I'm like, that's right there is a boss.
So that's you in a different life.
Yes. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed our video, and yes, anything you have to add?
Yeah, that was us, you loves.
The loves of your lives.
Yes. Subscribe if you like this video, and more videos coming your way.
Yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share. Sharing is caring. So yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.
Bye.
Cheers.